I don't know if you guys have seen it. Dude, Russell Brand is fucking converting to Christianity. Jesus. How toxic is that, bro? Wow. Every sexual predator out there is converting to Christianity. That's like the new thing. This is the new Macklemore song. It's called Hinds Hall. Once it's up on streaming, all the proceeds are going to the UNRWA. We're going to give this a listen real quick, and then we're going to discuss it a little bit. Now, obviously, this is a super powerful song, okay? And, dude, I love the energy of it. I think it's a fucking great song. I do. I think it's really captures a lot of the rage. But here's the thing that I don't understand is with my comment right here. This song is amazing, perfect energy, and we also have a problem. Because I absolutely want people to be able to take out their rage on Biden. And also, if we care anything about Palestinians, we cannot let Trump win either. So we on the left need a solution for this election. And this is really fucking important. This whole Hinds Hall and this whole situation of what's going on right now with the genocide in Palestine is being lumped up purely on Biden's shoulders. And I don't see how that is fair, bro. This has been U.S. policy to turn their back on the genocidal shit going on in Palestine since the very beginning. Every president has participated in it. Most American companies have participated in this, and the universities. And now it's like, F you, Biden, we're not voting for you. Okay, that's fine. But then what is our option, right? Because these people in these replies are talking about the revolution of voting for a third party when there are 3 third party candidates. There's Stein, there's Cornell, there's RFK. Okay, so we don't even have 1 third party candidate. There's 3 of them that are all splitting votes. And none of them are going to get even close to majority. So there's no organized revolution of a third party candidate. There's everybody saying, F Biden, Macklemore saying, F you, Biden, you're the genocide. I ain't voting you for the fall. But like, what is our plan to prevent genocide number 2, Donald Trump, which also, in addition to being genocidal, is also going to affect women's rights. It's going to affect gay rights. It could affect access to birth control. It could affect gay marriage. It could affect, millions of Hispanic people needing to prove their citizenship to a hit squad. But they're talking about a revolution. Biden. But what is our plan for that? You don't even have a united third party candidate, so the third can't win. So there will be a Trump hotel in Gaza after the genocide and after it's demolished. Nice work. And maybe a national abortion ban. And then Republicans can nominate a couple more Supreme Court justices and we'll all live under a hardline Christian rule for the next 100 years. Like, that is not a revolution. So I really want people to be able to express their rage against Biden, but like Trump cannot win. And now you could elect Biden and then protest for 4 years and try to push Democrats to the left and make this a core issue of the 2028 election. But if Trump wins, this issue of the genocide is going to disappear. It's going to disappear. And so is the Ukraine. It's going to disappear. Like a whole bunch of human rights in America are probably going to disappear if Trump wins a second term. That's the plan of the Heritage Foundation. That is the plan of the Manhattan Institute. People like Chris Rufo and Kevin Roberts. And these fucking replies in here are ridiculous. Like this guy, like Bernie said, Johnson stepped down because he knew he'd alienated his base with Vietnam. It's the only path I see. And I'm like, dude, when Johnson stepped down, Nixon won, bro. The Republican Nixon won, cleaned up. Maybe if Johnson had stayed in the race, he would have won. Maybe he would have prevented a Nixon presidency. Maybe not. But this guy who lives in New Zealand, by the way, he's not even American. This guy is sitting here saying, oh, Biden should have stepped down. But dude, there's nobody else right now other than Biden that could beat Trump. Who would the fucking candidate be? There's people talking about Jill Stein. Let me find this reply. It was like, dude, you're joking. I don't know where the replies are. All 35 replies are not even showing now. But there was somebody who said Jill, and I was like, dude, Jill Stein could not win the election if she was the only candidate. If nobody else ran and Jill Stein ran, people would literally write in other candidates and she would lose the election. It's crazy. This guy, if you're willing to vote Biden or Trump to win, you're not on the left. I don't know what this guy's talking about. Dude, it reminds me, it's the Bernie Bros, dude. It's Bernie Bros 2024. It is absolutely okay to be critical of the person you voted for. You should. You should hold them to account. You need to hold them responsible. But at the end of the day, there's regimes that can be moved and there's regimes that can be not moved. And one of the things we've learned about Biden and the Democrats is you can move them. They're reasonable people if you apply pressure. Now, it's complicated here in this particular situation because America has a huge population of independent voters that vote on either side of the voting block. And most of the independent American voters are not torn up about what's going on in Gaza. This protest, the Palestinian protests, do not have nearly the level of support the anti-Vietnam protests have because American citizens aren't dying. That doesn't make it any less worse. It's fucking horrible what's going on in Palestine. And it's been horrible for 50 fucking years. And we should have all been battling for this for a long time for a stop to this shit. But no Americans are dying like they were in Vietnam. So it's not like the whole country wants these protests. Like, I think if Biden went down to Hinds Hall and protested in favor of these protesters, I think he would actually lose to Trump. If he turned his back completely on Israel and went pro-Palestine, Biden would not win. I guarantee you he would not win. Okay? He wouldn't. They're towing a very difficult line in this situation, because as tragic as what's going on there, most of America, most of the working people that are worried about their fucking gas prices, they don't give a shit about what's going on in the Middle East. They don't. And that's really hard for leftists who want this revolution to understand, for us to understand and accept that. Now, that's not to say we can't apply pressure to the party and start changing our voting habits and vote more progressive people across the board from here on out. And 30 years from now, America could sever ties with genocidal impulses. But man, right now, there's just no way, which is why some of these people that get up in here in these comments with me, I'm like, what the are you guys even talking about? They're living in some fantasy world where they think the whole world is waiting for Biden to break a window at Columbia University. And that's not the case, man. It fucking pisses me off because I want the genocide to end. I definitely don't want a right-wing fascist government here in America. Okay, that's not going to be helpful. We're getting real. We're getting raw. But man, it's really crazy because we need to figure this shit out. I saw that comment. It's the video, the Genocide Joe video. This guy says right here, that's such a stupid take. You have to push the Dems to get them to act. But he said right here, this was his problem. He said it's simple. And no, it's not simple, because I said, I know that's the idea and pushing is good, but I'm not sure it's as simple as you say it is. Biden was never beloved like Obama. Biden only won in the first place because he was not Trump. And unfortunately, our Congress only has a small contingent of people on the left who are willing to fight for this. So why would Democrats yield to the push? And could they even yield? Let me fix that. I found a typo. Let's go. Would the Dems going fully in on the side of the protesters even cost them more seats and the presidency? It probably would. I like what this guy said, though. You want to push the Dems, you need to stack committees and beat the current DNC favorites with better primary candidates. Don't forget, local Dem committees literally appoint the DNC. It's not like it's as private a club as everyone tries to pretend. This is so true. You never can pressure your party by losing an election. Losing the election does not put you in a position to pressure the party. I mean, look at it. They tried to pressure Hillary Clinton with the whole Bernie shit. They lost the election. They lost the Supreme Court. They lost abortion rights. And what happened? In 2020, you got fucking Biden. You didn't get a progressive candidate. You got a stodgy old man who's tough on policing, an Israel defender. That's what you got after applying pressure to Hillary during the election year and making a huge deal about it, letting Trump win, and then you got Biden. Trump needs to not win, period. No more far-right government implanting in the U.S. We need to nip that in the bud, and then you get Biden in there, and then you can protest every day for the next 4 years. It would be a different thing if like the pro-Palestinian protests were like widespread, but they're not. They're not widespread. It's like heartbreakingly tragic, right? And maybe they get widespread this summer. But the timing of the push is really important because right now, the Democratic Party is not going to budge very far because they have to shore up some of that independent voter base. They have to. Trump's voter base has grown with young white men. It has. Young white men are now leaning towards pro-Trump. The women are leaning the other way. But Trump has actually grown a little bit of his voter base. They've had a massive PR campaign for the last 4 years. That's what they've been doing. Targeting gamer boys, frat boys. They've been paying these fake PR things that make it look like minority voters are coming around to Trump. They've been very strategic about this. Attacking CRT, making it seem like white people and Christians are being oppressed. They've been very fucking strategic. The right wing has, led by Project 2025, Heritage Foundation, Manhattan Institute, these guys that have been doing these PR campaigns. They've been highly effective. So right now, you can't have Democratic presidential nominee be going into far left land. There's no way he could win. What I don't understand is how are people that are pro-Palestine, how do they think that Biden losing and a far-right government under Trump being installed, how is that going to help their revolution at all? How? They think they're going to be able to push the Trump regime to the left? Like, I mean, do they think that's going to happen? They think that if they start protesting in Trump's second term, that you think he's going to use the National Guard, throw them all in jail as retribution for the January 6th insurrection. I mean, he couldn't do it in that first term because the people around him wouldn't allow it. But he's got different people around him this time. Trump does. He's got a group of Christian nationalists that believe he's anointed by Jesus. They'll fucking do anything he says. Some of them are going to in jail for him, going to prison right now for engaging in fraud campaigns and trying to overturn the election. Like, this is not simple. And Netanyahu and the IDF in Israel, that is a far-right government. Donald Trump wants to install a far-right government. There is no situation where a far-right government in 2024 doesn't lead to 50 years of losses, specifically with the Supreme Court, because there's probably going to be 2 more justices. So instead of a 5-4, it could end up being 7-2 on that Supreme Court of Christian nationalists if Trump wins again. If that's the case, you can kiss every human right that's not a white Christian right. Goodbye. Dude, for the next 50 years, they're going to overturn any law that tries to bring any type of equity or diversity protection in America. It'll just be fucking game, set, match.